building. In that situation, if we'd gone to Strawberry Tower, we'd have seen that contradiction firsthand. And using that as a clue, we might have discovered the truth. The truth that the two houses and the two towers are actually one complete vertical building. The killer wanted to keep us from learning that. That's why they made us stay away from Strawberry Tower.
They destroyed the button and wrapped a chain around the door just for that?
Would it really have inconvenienced the killer if we learned the true structure of the building?
It would have been a major inconvenience. After all, this funhouse is strongly connected to the ultimate
Hold on. You're progressing much too quickly. There's still a contradiction concerning the building structure.
What a pain. It's fine already.
Gundam, please proceed.
You said earlier that Strawberry House and Grape House are connected vertically, right? If so, how does the contact elevator supposedly transport us from one house to the other? If that elevator moves vertically, then when your back is facing the elevator, both towers should be on the same side. But does this reflect reality? Inside Grape House, Grape Hall is on your right when your back is to... And inside Strawberry House, Strawberry Hall is on your left when your back is to the elevator. Which means the houses are on... Answer me, fiend! What does this mean?
What does this mean?
If the two houses are connected vertically...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, at both houses, if the contact elevator is behind you, the towers are in opposite directions.
Which means your reasoning...
It's clearly contradictory.
What's with this iron curtain of teamwork?
The two houses are...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, if the contact elevator...
The towers are in opposite directions.
If the two houses are connected vertically...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, if the contact elevator is
Behind you, the towers are in opposite directions.
If the two houses are connected vertically...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, at both houses, if the contact elevator...
The towers are in opposite directions.
If the two houses are connected vertically...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, at both houses, if the contact elevator is behind you,
The towers are in opposite directions.
If the two houses are connected...
the elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
However, at both houses, If the contact elevator is behind you, the towers are in opposite directions.
Which means your reasoning...
It's clearly contradictory.
What's with this iron curtain of teamwork?
If the two houses are connected vertically...
The elevator should move.
Vertically, not horizontally.
No, that's wrong. The elevator wasn't just moving vertically. Isn't that right?
Huh? Me?
Come on. You used the elevator while you were holding that compass Nagito gave you, right?
Oh, that. Yeah, it was pretty strange.
Rotated 108, meaning, as the elevator moved between the two houses, it also rotated 180 degrees. It was probably following the building's perimeter as it rotated to the other side. Which means the exit would be on the opposite side once you arrived at the other house, right?
And thanks to that, the tower we saw on our right side when we arrived at Grape House appeared on our left side when we were at Strawberry House.
An elevator that rotates while it moves. Is that even possible? It's like something from an amusement park.
Well, a funhouse is an amusement park attraction, you know. And since the building doesn't really need to be structurally practical, it makes for some splendid fun.
That's not splendid at all! You're inhuman!
You say I'm inhuman, but I'm just a bear. So I was never human to begin with. I'm different from these lowly humans.
So we're done with the secret of the funhouse, right? Then let's start talking about the important stuff. What's the ultimate weapon that killed Nekomaru?
Huh? You still don't know what the ultimate weapon is yet?
What is the octagon? I haven't heard.
Oh my... As long as you know what an octagon means... I see! If I recall, an octagon is a shape with 8... I didn't expect you to know that. For a sub... I guess I should continue listening. Where... Crap! Here! You're talking about the secret room surrounded by concrete in the depths of the final dead room.
Why is that place the octagon?
You know how the four-sided strawberry house is on top of the six-sided grape house? If you cut a four-sided shape out of a six-sided one, you get 8 edges. It becomes an 8-sided shape.
That's basically the gist of it. The true identity of the octagon is that secret room in the depths of the final dead room. In actuality, that place contained various weapons.
Then the ultimate weapon was...
That's a little different. I learned the true identity of the ultimate weapon. Learned? The true identity of the ultimate weapon is the funhouse, which means the killer used the building structure. Like me, the killer probably realized the secret of the funhouse from the scenery, and then thought of a way to kill making use of the building structure.
The The funhouse itself is the...
That's why the killer tried to keep us from learning the mystery of the building. But more importantly, using the building itself as a weapon?
I see! That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That, I don't know yet.
Don't just... Where in that building would you even be able to push...
It might be possible you could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the 1st floor, the door on the 4th floor will...
Saying he died from...
But my gut is going crazy right... When the elevator is on the 1st floor, you can't go through the door on the 4th floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator,
They moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor.
and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside.
No, that's wrong! That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside,
Could it be...
when Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator senses...
I see.
However, even if they moved the elevator in that... there would have been no drop for him to fall and die.
That's what I was about to explain. Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is... The hammer is suspicious.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
I agree with that! Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that loop part hung from the doorknob...
If they did something like that, he would have been That's right. He was... Huh? The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot, and hung it on the doorknob to the 4th floor. With that, they moved the elevator from the 4th floor to the 1st floor of Grapetown. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so Well, huh?
You better not finish that sentence.
The killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature, only the floor moves. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy. So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that. What? Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that. Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from a wire, how would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. It's possible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that to Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain the drop. Moving the elevator with Nekomaru inside is just impossible. End of story. What? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right?
Allow me to cut through those words. What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside?
What are you saying? Like,
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
If you woke up from an alarm and realized you were... If something like that happened to you, instinctively, your body would start moving.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came.
He fell because the entire doorknob came.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover.
I see.
So, do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No. Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so!
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey! Why this guy?
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside down. That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
I see! When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar.
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Stop!
What'd you just say? Did you say?
You didn't check it yourself?
Nah, that's in Papa's. Even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention, there was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want.
We headed for Great Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
Killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
We headed for Great before 7 a.m., I am certain. We headed for Great Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
The killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest. That's gotta be it!
We headed for Great Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that.
His time of death and the time that one of those must.
Killer they probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru.
No, that's wrong! No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have...
So you're saying there's no...
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time displayed.
If there's no possibility that the time was tampered with, then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding?
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
It's all coming together! You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks had been messed with?
What?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no...
I see. So the killer messed with...
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly...
Now's not the time to be pleased.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time is 7:30 in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used in there? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
I agree with that.
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell.
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when...
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake.
There's nothing to worry about.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference...
I heard that sound. Probably...
Huh?
I instantly woke up and left my room.
Excellent work, Akane!
I see!
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru. If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
I see!
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they...
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning. But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building...
We wouldn't be able to attend on time. His radio clock had the exact...
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in...
If I recall, you witnessed and if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early! He didn't even ask you yet!
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the...
Ah, jeez! That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot, or something like...
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's spot?
Wrong!
Fire?
That's not it! It's incorrect!
That's definitely the correct answer.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar.
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after...
Are you talking about that alarm? A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't?
The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. We were both on the same floor.
Which means that person does not. Who is it?
You're the only one! The one who wasn't there.
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please.
If you don't hurry up and answer.
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go...
You couldn't.
It's merely...
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I knew...
How? It is obvious that I did not hear, but I did not hear the rumbling sound either. To be honest, it's not. I was in a pretty deep sleep. It wasn't that.
Couldn't hear it.
You still... Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common. And I... Got it!
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
The reason we could not hear the.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation. You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are You're using your ultimate reserve corps student talent? Now then, you guys must understand.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor.
You're the only one! Gundam, there's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too.
What's wrong with... If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe... Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor. And he... So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
There is only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room.
Gundam.
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room. After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower. Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Mekamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode. And tying him up with the...
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room, just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi. So the killer couldn't go back to their room. And it...
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko...
Gundam?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
Huh?
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The sound...
Is that... You bastard.
Do not panic. The truth at the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting?
Hold on a...
You know, Hajime...
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Perhaps I should say, just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously. Let's just hurry.
Nagito, something At some point during the investigation, what actually happened?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later.
Please hold on! I have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis, since based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st. From there, after returning to Straub, although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
Let's see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House,
He wouldn't. However, I was already at Struck, which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction. That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
What if there was a secret passageway?
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator, the only means of travel between the... As long as that elevator was broke, your assumption collapsed.
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
if the killer cannot...
Since I was at... There's no question that the following...
It would have been different if they...
There was a secret passageway.
How much longer? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
No, that's wrong! No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses.
Such a method does not exist.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method? You're the only one! Nagito, you should know. Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right? There's a secret passage connecting the 1st floor of Strawberry House to the 3rd floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show up. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the 1st floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down, surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the 3rd floor of Grape House.
Meaning the 3rd floor and the 4th floor.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they use that secret passage, They could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However,
There's no way they didn't know.
that is merely an illusion you... if you...
There's no way I can stop.
Don't make me angry! Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I can't back down! I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion...
Allow me to cut through those words! The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body. The hammer that looked like the weapon. And the chain on the door in the tower. Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of. There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the Octagon.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
It seems this is the end. Normally we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act. So I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what?
First of all, by messing with the elevator was probably broken.
Maybe I'm just a human destined. I cannot!
What do you...
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button. However, that button was on the back.
It's not easy to get the... It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Just as I thought. Truly. If you want to set me up,
That's your the one.
listen well first. I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily? Amen! You weakling! This pressure. Show me the cadaver! Amen! Show me the cadaver! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
This is the end! Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck. As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you!
Oh? Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of...
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been... In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper. Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Mekamaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say...
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You can now trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands.
everything that happened in this case. But Nekomar.
Stop or... You... I cannot believe something...
Then fit, my beloved.
Well... Damn it. It's obvious.
Well,
Hell.
Hey,
Say what?
you don't even know? Isn't...
Of course.
But...
Who knows?
Hey. Huh?
Like...
well,
Say what?
You don't know? Hey, Hey,
That's...
Danganronpa.
Stupid fool!
Oh my!
Hey,
Huh? What's up?
I'll beat you up!
I am concerned.
Yeah?
Jeez.
Huh?
All right!
My!
I'm no doll. I'm Mini Maru.
Thanks. Well...
I'll beat you up!
Whoa!
Man.
Engines revving.
Huh. Miss Sonia?
Oh my!
Are you kidding me?
Jeez.
I am Mini Maru.
Man.
That's right.
You serious?
Of course.
Hey, hey!
Well.
Hey, hey!
But still...
Hey, bastard!
Huh?
Ah.
Right? Of course! Listen!
Hey!
I am sorry! Hey. Ding, 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 ding.